Hello and very welcome everyone to this session of the current affairs. Today we are going to learn the current affairs of 18th of November 2024. So let's start and see that what are the things we can learn from this day and what are the things we can add into our notes. So before we start, these are the topics I got covered for you in this session. So I have got some state news, banking and finance news, defense news, science and technology news, sports news, important days, ranks and reports, obituary, award and recognitions, appointment and resignations. And at last, I'll summarize all the things for all of you and we will see that what we have learned in this session. Before we start, the images used in our slide deck are for educational purpose only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Okay, so first news that we have today with us is PM Modi visit to Bihar on 13 November 2024. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Bihar on 13 November 2024 and laid the foundation stone for various development projects. So he was on the visit to Bihar, and in Bihar he has laid the foundation for various projects. The capital of Bihar is Patna. The Chief Minister is Mr. Nitish Kumar. The project, worth around 12,100 crore, span across health, rail, road, petroleum, natural gas sectors. PM Modi laid the foundation stone for the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Darbhanga, Bihar, at the cost of rupees 1,264 crore. He also inaugurated multiple initiatives in the petroleum and natural gas sectors worth over rupees 4,020 crore. Bihar Chief Minister is Nitish Kumar and the Governor is Rajendra Arlekar, and Patna is the capital. So remember who is the Governor of Bihar, Rajendra Arlekar, and Patna is the capital. And recently 12,100 crore of projects have been particularly inaugurated. And also the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Darbhanga, Bihar, also inaugurated. Gujarat becomes India's first state to implement a dedicated semiconductor policy. So, Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel launched the Gujarat Semiconductor Policy 2022 to 2027, making Gujarat the first Indian state to implement such a policy. The state has established the Gujarat State Electronics Mission to ensure effective implementation of this policy. This initiative complements the central government's India Semiconductor Mission launched in 2021 with a budget of rupees 76,000 crore. India's semiconductor market, valued at $15 billion in 2020, is projected to surpass $63 billion by 2026. Gujarat capital is Gandhinagar with Acharya Devvrat as the governor. So do remember that Gujarat has become the India's first state to implement a dedicated semiconductor policy. Recently, India has done collaboration regarding the development of semiconductor chip with Nvidia. Apart from that, recently India has also collaborated with European Investment Bank for the development of semiconductor hub in Bangalore. And now Gujarat has become the India's first state to implement a dedicated semiconductor policy, especially in the Gandhinagar, that is a gift city of India, that is dedicated for the development of uh, technology and fintech companies. India's first writers village inaugurated in Dehradun. So India's first writers village was inaugurated in Dehradun by the former president Mr. Ramnath Kovind, Uttarakhand Governor Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh retired, and Chief Minister Mr. Pushkar Singh Dhami. So do remember who were present here. So President Ramnath Kovind, Uttarakhand Governor Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh, and Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami. The aim is to encourage creativity and offer supportive space for writers from across the nation. It hosted its first event, the 3-day International Literature, Cultural and Art Festival, Sparsh Himalaya Mahotsav, with writers from over 40 countries. Village was conceived by former CM Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, a renowned writer. During the event, Nishank unveiled his book Ram in the Himalayas. So do remember India's first writers village inaugurated in Dehradun, and Chief Minister is Mr. Pushkar Singh Dhami. And apart from that, It is the first of its kind writer village inaugurated in Dehradun, that is the capital of Uttarakhand. Just to add, recently particular festivals have also been inaugurated in Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand is also known as Devbhumi, as it has the four dhams in it, that is Gangotri, Yamunotri, Badrinath, and Kedarnath. To be specific, these are called the Chota Char Dhams. And apart from that, who was the former Prime Chief Minister of Uttarakhand? That is Mr. CM Ramesh Pokhriyal. That is former CM of the Uttarakhand, Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank. Who is the current governor of Uttarakhand? That is Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh, who is retired. Andhra Pradesh government presents budget with an outlay rupees 2.94 lakh crore. So the government of Andhra Pradesh, led by the Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu, presented the budget outlay of rupees 2.94 lakh crore for 2024-2025. So recently the Andhra Pradesh elections were held alongside with the Lok Sabha elections, and in Andhra Pradesh, Telugu Desam Party along with the Jan Sena Party has won the elections. Now Chandrababu Naidu once again is the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, and Pawan Kalyan as the Deputy Chief Minister. Finance Minister Paya Vula Kesav presented his first budget in the assembly in Amravati, Andhra Pradesh. So recently, the Amravati has also been officially declared as the capital of Andhra Pradesh. Remember that as well. And Hyderabad is now official capital of Telangana only. Telangana is led by Mr. Ravinath Reddy. The revenue expenditure is packed at rupees 2,35,916 crore and capital expenditure at rupees 32,712 crore. Revenue deficit and fiscal deficit are rupees 34,743 crore and 68,742 crore respectively. Fiscal deficit is around 4.19% of the gross state domestic product, and the revenue deficit is around 2.12% of the GSDP. So do remember, Andhra Pradesh government presents budget with an outlay rupees 2.94 lakh crore. GSFL launched Smart Gold for easy digital gold investment. So Geo Financial Service Limited launched Smart Gold, a digital gold investment platform accessible through the Geo Finance app. Customer can purchase 24 karat physical gold anytime with a minimum amount of rupees 10. Platform allows customers to buy, sell and redeem their gold holdings for cash or physical gold coins and jewelry. The underlying physical gold will be stored in insured vaults and customers can monitor live market price in the app. Physical gold delivery is available for holdings of 0.5 grams with denomination of 0.5 gram, 1 gram, 2 gram, 5 gram and 10 grams. So GSFL, that is Geo Financial Service Limited, has launched the Smart Gold for easy digital gold investment. So it will be healthy and this would be very easy to carry the gold whenever and wherever you want. Plus, all the things that you are carrying in the gold is at a smart level and very less chances or no chance of physical kind of theft to your gold. So for that purpose, which company has come up with a smart gold? That is called a Geo Finance Service Limited, has launched a smart gold, a digital gold investment platform. Mahindra Finance and RBL Bank launched its co-branded credit cards. So Mahindra and Mahindra Finance Service Limited launched a co-branded credit card in partnership with RBL Bank Limited. Credit card is designed to meet customer aspirational needs and offer unmatched benefits across various categories. This is the first co-branded credit card offering for Mahindra Finance. Partnership aims to provide one-stop solution aligning with the growth of e-commerce and technological advancement. Mahindra Group entity holds 3.53% stake in RBL Bank acquired for rupees 417 crore. So do remember, Mahindra Finance and RBL Bank has launched the co-branded credit cards. India launches tri-service military exercise Purvi Prahar in eastern sector. So recently what has been done? So Indian Army is conducting a high intensity tri-service exercise Purvi Prahar from 10th to 18th November in Arunachal Pradesh. This joint exercise aims to enhance the combat effectiveness of the Indian Army, Navy and Air Force in the mountainous terrain Exercise showcases various sophisticated platform and assets, including fighter and reconnaissance aircraft, strategic helicopters, M777 ultra light howitzer artillery system, innovative technologies like first person view drones and loiter munitions will be used, enhancing situational awareness and operational accuracy. Joint control structures will be established to maintain operational efficiency using satellite communications and AI driven analytics. So, do remember that in India launches tri service military exercise Purvi Prahar, and this is the particular type of exercise which includes Indian Army, Indian Navy, and Indian Air Force as well. And it particularly is to see that what are the coordinations between these particular forces and how they particularly can join together to create a ecosystem in which they are coordinated successfully with each other. Remember, General Anil Chauhan is the CDS of India currently, and Upendra Dwivedi is the Chief of Army Staff. Dinesh Tripathi is the Chief of Naval Staff currently. Austra Hind 2024 India Australia Joint Military Exercise held in Pune. So, third edition of India Australia Joint Military Exercise Austra Hind being conducted in Pune, Maharashtra from 8th of November to 21st November. Exercise aimed to strengthen military cooperation between India and Australia in joint unconventional operations. This year's drill is set in a semi-urban, semi-desert environment, reflecting conditions under the UN mandate on peacekeeping operations. Key focus area include joint physical fitness planning and tactical coordinations with soldiers engaging in social and cultural activities. Indian contingent includes 140 personnel from the Dogra Regiment, 14 members of the Indian Air Force, while the Australian contingent include 120 personnel from the 13th Light Horse Regiment. So do remember that Austra Hind 2024 India-Australia Joint Military Exercise held in Pune, Maharashtra. This was the third edition of Australia and India Joint Military Exercise. Australia is also a part of naval exercise that is called Malabar, which includes India, Australia, USA, and Japan. And recently it was held in Bay of Bengal near Vishakhapatnam. CEEW report India's climate policy is expected to reduce carbon dioxide emission by around 4 billion tons by 2030. So, Council on Energy, Environment and Water report indicates that India's current climate policies are expected to reduce carbon dioxide emission by around 4 billion tons between 2020 to 2030. India had pledged to reduce emissions by 1 billion tons by 2030 at the COP26 UNFCCC held in Glasgow, Scotland. Remember, Glasgow is the same place where particularly the Commonwealth Games are going to be held. Policies designed for India's power, residential and transport sectors have already saved 440 million tons of carbon dioxide between 2015 to 2020. Renewable energy policies in the power sector are projected to drive a 24% decline in coal-based power generation by 2030. CEEW CEO is Arunabha Ghosh and headquartered in New Delhi. So do remember CEEW, India's climate policies expected to reduce carbon dioxide by around 4 billion tons by 2030. 2030 is also the particular year which is dedicated for the completion of Sustainable Development Goals by UN. Jitendra Singh inaugurates India's first biomanufacturing institute, BRIC, National Agri-Food Biomanufacturing Institute at Mohali. So, Union Minister Jitendra Singh inaugurates the new complex of India's first biomanufacturing institute, BRIC, National Agri-Food Biomanufacturing Institute in Mohali, Punjab. BRIC NABI was created through the merger of NABI and the Center of Innovations and Applied Bioprocessing. Institute aims to revolutionize India's agricultural sector by combining expertise in biotechnology and bioprocessing. Biomanufacturing Workshop 1.0 is scheduled for December 2024, focused on biotechnology for the economy, employment, and the environment. Bionist BRIC NABI Incubation Center aims to empower local youth, women, and agricultural, food, and bioprocessing sectors. So Jitendra Singh has inaugurated India's first Bio-Manufacturing Institute, BRICS, National Agri-Food Manufacturing Institute at Mohali. Zimbabwe launches ZimSat-2 satellite to enhance space program. So Zimbabwe successfully launched the second satellite ZimSat-2 on the Soyuz 2.1B spacecraft from Vostochny Cosmodrome in Russia. Launch was a joint effort between Zimbabwe National Geospatial Spatial and Space Agency and Southwest State University in Russia. GIMSAT-2 is a low Earth observational satellite equipped with high-resolution multispectral camera for detailed imagery. Satellite will monitor crop health, predict yields, identify nutrition deficiencies, support geographical researchers. Zimbabwe president is Emmerson Mnangagwa and the capital is Harare. Recently, with the same particular thing, that is Soyuz 2.1B, two Iranian satellites were also launched, which are subjected to take care of the geographical imagery. And apart from that, another satellite is for the observance of the telecommunication. So for that purpose, this particular launch vehicle on which Soyuz 2.1B spacecraft under from the Vostochny Cosmodrome in Russia, the two Iranian satellites were also launched. So total number of 55 satellites were launched from this mission. So remember that. Australian cricketer Matthew Wade retires from international cricket. So Australian cricketer Matthew Wade announced his retirement from international cricket. Wade will become a wicket keeping and fielding coach for the Australian national team for T20 series against Pakistan in November 2024. He played 36 tests, scoring 1,613 runs with 4 centuries and participated in 225 international matches across 3 formats. Wade served as T20 captain between December 2020 and February 2024. He played for Australia for 13 years, contributing significantly to the team's success. So do remember, Australian cricketer Matthew Wade retires from international cricket. He is basically famous for his innings in the semi-final against Pakistan during the 2021 T20 World Cup. Children's Day, Bal Divas 2024, 14th November. So Children's Day or Bal Divas is annually observed across the India on 14th November to honor the birth anniversary of India's first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. November 14 marks the 135th birth anniversary of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Before 1964, India celebrated the Children's Day on November 20, the day the United Nations celebrates World Children's Day. After Nehru's death in 1964, India began celebrating Children's Day on November 14 in his honor. He was the first person in India who has become the Prime Minister of India for 3 consecutive times, starting in 1952, then in 1957 and in 1962. And after his death, particularly, Lal Bahadur Shastri became the second Prime Minister of our country. And before that, particularly if we talk about Mr. Nehru, so Mr. Nehru was also a barrister from London, and basically he worked in different particular works with Mahatma Gandhi, and basically his first kind of achievement was during the 1929 Lahore session, when he became the very young age he became the president of Congress, and at that time the Poon Swaraj was demanded. And apart from that, he was also the one who has become the maximum number of times the president of Congress during the Congress sessions before independence. World Usability Day 2024. So World Usability Day, or Make Things Easier Day, is observed on second Thursday of November to promote usability, accessibility, user experience and design. WUD falls on 14 November with the theme Designing for a Better World. World Usability Day was established in 2004 by the Usability Professional Association. The World Usability Day was first observed on 10th November 2005. User Experience Professional Association was established in 1991 and renamed in 2012. So do remember, the World Usability Day is observed on 14th November. Climate change public adaptation finance grew by 32% in 2022, but large gap remains UNEP report. So under the UNEP report, the adaptation gap report indicates that international public adaptation finance flows to developing countries increased by 32% from US dollar 22 billion in 2021 to US dollar 28 billion in 2022. This increase is the largest relative year on year since the Paris Agreement. Despite this progress, significant adaptation finance gap remains. The needs estimated at US dollar 215 to 387 billion. The report highlights that 171 countries have at least one national adaptation policy strategy in place, with 51st 1% having second and 20% a third instrument. United Nations executive director is Inger Anderson and its headquarters is in Nairobi, Kenya. So do remember that United Nations Environment Program, they have particularly declared regarding the public adaptation finance grew by 32%, but large gap remains UNEP report. BPL Group founder TP Gopalan Nambiar passed away. So TP Gopalan Nambiar, the founder of British Physical Laboratories, passed away at the age of 94 in Bangalore, Karnataka. Nambiar was a prominent Indian entrepreneur known for the establishing BPL, a leading consumer electronics company in India. He supported the evolution of Indian electronics industry between 1960 to 1990. Nambiar received several awards, including Electronics Man of the Year Award and National Citizens Award. BPL was founded in 1963, with its first manufacturing facility set up in Palakkad, Kerala. So do remember these things, that BPL Group founder, that TP Gopalan Nambiar, passed away at the age of 94. What is BPL? British Physical Laboratories Group. M. Karunakar Reddy receives the first Jadav Payang International Award. So Telangana-based environmentalist M. Karunakar Reddy has been selected for the first Jadav Payang International Award launched by the Jyoti Protap Education Trust in Assam, honors Reddy for his extraordinary efforts in environmental conservation and climate action. Reddy, known as the Waterman and Green Man of India, will receive the award in January 2025. Award includes a cash prize of rupees 2 lakh, a citation, and various mementos. The award is named after Padam Shri awardee Jadav Payeng, known as the Forest Man of India. So do remember the name M. Karunakar Reddy receives the first Jadav Payeng International Award. Alka Tiwari appointed as the new Chief Secretary of Jharkhand. So Election Commission of India approved Jharkhand's proposal to appoint Alka Tiwari as the new Chief Secretary of the state. She replaced Lal Bia Katluanga Kiangte, who retired on 31st October. Alka Tiwari, 1988 batch IS officer, currently the senior most IS officer in the cadre. Prior to this appointment, she served as the secretary of the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes. Tiwari has held various positions, including Deputy Commissioner of Gumla and Lohar Daga district in Jharkhand. So remember the name Alka Tiwari, the new Chief Secretary of Jharkhand. Hemant Soren is the CM of Jharkhand. Currently, the capital is Ranchi. Let's revise what we have learned. So PM Modi visit to Bihar on 13 November, inaugurated a lot of projects, including the AIMS in Bihar, in Darbhanga. Gujarat becomes the India's first state to implement a dedicated semiconductor policy. India's first writer village inaugurated in Dehradun. Andhra Pradesh government present budget with an outlay of rupees 2.94 lakh crore. GSFL launched the Geo Service Financial Limited has launched Smart Gold for easy digital gold investment. Mahindra Finance RBL Bank launched its co-branded credit cards. India launches tri-service military exercise Purvi Prahar in eastern sector. Austria Hind 2024 India-Australia joint military exercise held in Pune. CEEW reports India's climate policies expected to reduce CO2 emissions by around 4 billion tons by 2030. Jitendra Singh inaugurates India's first biomanufacturing institute, BRIC, National Agri-Food Biomanufacturing Institute at Mohali. Zimbabwe launches GIMSAT-2 satellite to enhance space program. Australian cricketer Matthew Wade retires from international cricket. Children's Day on 14 November, World Usability Day 14 November. Climate change public adaptation finance grew by 32% in 2022. By a large gap remains UNEP report. BPL, the famous electronics company group founder TP Gopalan Nambiar passed away. M. Karunakar Reddy receives first Jadav Payeng International Award. Alka Tiwari appointed as the new Chief Secretary of Jharkhand. And that's it in this session, guys. I hope you gained a lot of knowledge and you added a lot of things into your current affair notebooks. And so far, this is up to the date of 18th of November. So we will meet once again in next session of the current affairs. Till then, bye bye. Take care, everyone, and see you soon.